warm welcome to this Saturday edition of The Box Seat. I'm Mark Olmos and I'll be taking you through this 8-race card we have for you on Saturday, which includes 2 feature races, the Group 3 Strickland Stakes at Weight for Age, and we have the Belmont Guineas at listed level for the 3-year-old horses. Before we get stuck into the race card though, we'll have a quick look at the conditions and the track. Now, we'll be racing on a good 4 surface at this stage, but we are expecting showers, so wouldn't be surprised if we get to a soft 5 throughout the day, so make sure you do a bit of soft form there. As I mentioned, the weather will be showery. We'll also have the rail at the inside position, the true position, which we haven't had for a while now, so all should be very true. Now we'll start off with race number 1, the Amelia Park Lamb Plate over 1200 metres. This race is for the 2-year-olds and it's a very good field of 2-year-olds with a lot of different form lines coming into it. One of the main ones is Elegant Blast, but we'll have a look at last start winner, Slick Sam, winning rather impressively on a Wednesday.
Inside behind them then came Keeper's Tail, straightening up running 4th, and then came Slick Sam and Orange Strudel. But Proconi races up now to miss somebody and making up ground inside of it, Keeper's Tail. With 150 to go, Proconi, the leader, Keeper's Tail, is really starting to knuckle down, and so Slick Sam, he's finishing powerfully. It's Keeper's Tail and Slick Sam. They went to the line. Slick Sam got a dive in.
Slick Sam was super impressive on that day. It was a Wednesday 2-year-old race, but it did everything you want to see in a first start 2-year-old. Now, it comes in here with for its second start. Peter Nucky rides for Simon Miller. Look, one thing I really liked about that run is that it made up good ground from the outside. It had a pretty easy run, but when you see these 2-year-olds making up good ground, it's always a good sign. There's also in the race, backing up from last week, Dainty TESS. Now, she was backed as if unbeatable late in the race. She opened up at about $3 last Thursday and ended up jumping at about $1.60 favourite, and High Conviction subsequently beat her with a much tougher run as well. Dainty TESS had all the favours up the inside, but couldn't get the job done on that occasion. Look, she looks well suited to this race. She's won $180,000 in prize money, which is a superb effort by Dan Morton and the team. They've just picked the right races for this filly by Warchant, and look, this looks another race for her, but barrier 10, she will have to do a little bit of work, whether it's later on in the race or earlier in the race. We've also got number 9, Oregon Bronze. This Fred Kersley galloper gets the 3-kilo claim of Randy Tan, so only has to carry the 51 kilos. Look, last start was okay. It faded a little bit late to be beaten 2.5 lengths by Elegant Blast, but it was fractious in the barriers on that occasion and was vet examined and passed fit to run, so it was also slightly held up, but look, I think it should improve. Another query with this horse is down to 1200 metres, but I think Fred will have it sharp enough. The start before that over 1400 was good as well, and at $10 is definitely worth a play, and that's the way I'm going. I've got the 9 on top, Oregon Bronze from the Fred Kersley yard. A really nice type of horse. This will only get better with racing. From the 1, Dainty TESS, the proven performer. Number 10, Burning Magic at some nice odds from the Neville Parnham yard, returning in this race. And number 4, Brother Rand, who's gone up at about $26 and was a very, very nice run last start at Belmont. Race number 2 on the card kicks off at 12:33. It is the Pink Ladies Day July 9 handicap over 1,000 metres. It's a 72 plus race, and it's a pretty good field this. They all mainly come from the same form line, and the horse that won that race, this mare by not a single doubt, Cool Passion, is absolutely flying. Let's have a look at her winning in 72 class last start.
A length and a half to Castle Retreat. Malibu Style is off the bit behind them. King River near the middle, followed further back then by Jewton down near the rail as Cool Passion given ahead, races to the lead with 150 still to go. She'd put 2 lengths Greco on the outside. Malibu Style, War Prince Jewton along the rail, but Cool Passion a class above them, off the track all the way, but she trotted in.
A good performance on that occasion. Tracked wide for a portion of the race, but still had plenty in hand. Lucy Warwick knows this horse so well, and even the start before was 6 and 7 wide on the turn, but did it far too easily. 1,000 metres really suits this mare by not a single doubt, as I mentioned. Barrier 2 today, she should just have no issue. From the distance, she's 2 from 2, and at the track, she's never missed a place, so she looks mighty hard to beat and has opened up at a very short quote. Coming out of that race as well, we have number 8, King River. Now, the Bob and Sandra Peters galloper, this Harada Sun, Now, raced really well last start, but everybody was expecting it to get out to a bit more further ground. They've kept it at 1,000 metres like last start. It looked a bit short last start, but the blinkers stay on, and he should still be hitting the line quite comfortably here. But from barrier 8, runs into Cool Passion again. There's not much difference in the weights, and I think Cool Passion will still have its measure, but definitely in the market and one to watch. We've also got in the market number 5, Malibu Style, which was also a good run behind those two horses that I've just mentioned, King River and Cool Passion. Sat just off them, started about a $7 chance from barrier 10. Gets barrier 3 here today, so we'll get a much more comfortable run. And these progeny of Magnus, which Malibu Style is by, they seem to handle the wet quite well. Second up has won twice from 3 attempts, so looks well in this race. I've got number 3 on top though, Cool Passion. She's opened up very short at $1.65, but does look mighty hard to beat over the 1,000 metres. From 8, King River, who was a game performance last start, sticks at the 1,000, but should be running on strongly again. Malibu Style was a good performance and should be improving. And number 2, Gigante. Race 3 of the day at Belmont is the Race Day Hospitality Book Now handicap over 1,000 metres. Kicks off at 1:13 p.m. This is for the 3-year-olds, this race, and it's a pretty handy field, this. Last start winner Sovereign Hall, and there's a few who come out of that race, such as Prime Witness as well. So we'll have a look at the replay of last start winner Sovereign Hall.
Down there next, coming to the outside, a length and a half, Sporting Image right behind them. Corvara looking to get clear. Then Sovereign Hall, You Want Answers. Prime Witness hit the front down to the 200. Sporting Image is starting to close the gap, and here's Sovereign Hall coming from the back of the field with You Want Answers. Sporting Image, Prime Witness now. Sovereign Hall over the top. Sovereign Hall quickly gathers them up. Races clear.
The race was set up nicely for this galloper. It got good speed from the likes of Prime Witness and co that going forward, and really clapping on the speed, allowing this galloper by Universal Ruler to get home quite strongly. Barrier 5 again, it's right in, but has opened up at a longer quote than I thought, of around $8.50. Look, if it gets the same sort of speed again, it should be doing just what it did last time and running on quite powerfully. It laid in a bit on that occasion too, so Jared Noski can straighten it up and get it to run straight, I guess. It should be a big chance here at around the $8.50 mark. We've also got in the race last start runner-up Stravigo, who was well backed and highly touted before the race. It led, but didn't have enough in hand to hold off Marchand on that occasion. Look, just the horse Marchand got to it, and it fought back well, but just didn't have enough in the tank. Should be fitter for that run, but look, I still like to see the horse put away a race, this gelding by Stratum. Until he does that, I'll be keeping a close eye out on him this Saturday, though. We've also got in the race number 9, Prime Witness. Now, I'm really keen on this filly by Star Witness. It meets Sovereign Hall a lot better at the weights and was only beaten by Sovereign Hall at 1 length last start. So I really liked the win before that in a much easier race. It was a Class 3 on a Wednesday. Beat a smart galloper in It's Dynamite, who lines up here today as well. Barrier 1 for It's Dynamite, which suits it down to the ground. It's been caught wide its last 2 starts. This horse has a lot of ability, I think, as well, but I've got Prime Witness just ahead of it just because of the weights. We'll go into the selections now, and number 9, Prime Witness on top for me. I think they'll go forward with it from barrier 10, and with the weight pull, could hold on and win this at some nice odds of around $7.50. Number 8, It's Dynamite in for second. 3, Sovereign Hall, and 1, Mystic Maid. Race number 4 of the day is the Hans Super Dry handicap over 1,600 metres. Kicks off at 1:53, and another handy field here at the 78 plus level, and a really nice horse returns in North Ridge from the Fred Kersley yard. This gallop had a super preparation last start. Should have probably won a few more races than it did, but it's returned. It's had a short break, only about 40 odd days, but it has trialled, and the trial was superb. We'll have a look at that run now.
It's in the straight. And the leader is Biloxi. When We Were Kings goes through nearer the inside. Carney the outside. The Blue Nippers wider out. And further back is Back to a Walk. In front is Biloxi. But When We Were Kings strides through on the inside very nicely indeed. On the outside, battling away is the Blue Nipper. But it's When We Were Kings in front of the Blue Nipper near the line. Back to a Walk flies late and wins. Back to a Walk beat When We Were.
If you're reading the trial off the page, it doesn't look fantastic. Beaten 2.5 lengths by Back to a Walk over the 1,000 metres in the soft ground. But if you're watching he got well back and he finished off like a bullet in the soft track. Really how you like to see the horse hit the line. Now that trial only was on Monday just past, but look, Fred Kersley knows exactly what he's doing with these gallopers, and out to 1600, it is the perfect trip for this horse who has won over $350,000. So in with a real strong chance, nice and fresh after that nice trial. We've also got in the race number 5, Military Ruler. Now, last start behind Scales of Justice was good. Got a bit too far back, I think, and I think he'll try to ride it a lot closer today. William Pike on board for Darren McAuliffe. Now, as I mentioned, that was behind Scales of Justice, that run, and Scales of Justice, highly fancied in the Belmont Guineas later on in the day, should run really well. He's a smart 3-year-old, that horse. But if you go back in this horse's form, Military Ruler, he won a 78 this time in, and also ran second in 272 classes. So look, back up to 78 suits with less weight on the back, only 56 kilos here. Should get a lovely run from barrier 6 and be running on strongly just like last start. We've also got in the race number 6, Muskets at Dawn. This horse has returned in super order. Simon Miller's done a great job with this horse. Last start led and gave a really good yelp, just got nabbed by Our Finest Moment. The start before that at about 30-1 held on for a place behind Universal Law, another horse who will be racing in the Belmont Guineas later on the day. Look, it should from barrier 7 suggests that this horse should get to the front and get a good time out of it. You'll see him with his low head carriage there, and he should be plucking on for a win. I'm going with number 5 though, Military Ruler. As I mentioned, the weight swing is big. These Universal Rulers don't like to carry too much weight. 56 kilos looks ideal. From number 2, North Ridge, that trial was too good to ignore. From 1, Checkpoint, and 4, the listed winner, Properantes.
Clinging on desperately, the